Hey everybody, and welcome to Long Story Short with Uncle Jeff. Today we will be continuing in the exciting story of the Brothers' War. When we last left Urza, he had just watched his father-in-law die at the hands of the Falaji. Now his wife Kayla is the queen, and his kingdom is at war with the Falaji. Kayla and Urza were surprised to find that after a year of fighting, the Falaji wanted to hold peace talks. Urza was confident that no peace could be reached, but they invited the Falaji all the same. Mishra arrived in Yodia with the dragon engine. The leader of the Falaji had entrusted Mishra to negotiate on his behalf. Urza and Mishra discussed peace. Mishra was surprisingly reasonable. He was willing to leave the Yotians in peace and let them keep their land. All he asked for in return was Urza's half of the Power Stone. Urza would not agree. In the meantime, Tanos and Ashnod talked. They found that their experiences in serving the brothers was very similar. Ashnod offered to show Tanos the dragon engine later that night. Tanos agreed. After everyone had gone to bed, Tanos left to find Ashnod. He ran into Kayla, but thought nothing of it. Then he went to meet the other apprentice. Ashnod spoke more of Urza and Mishra, and it was then that Tanos realized what was going on. He rushed back to find Urza, who was asleep in his workshop. His might stone was missing. Kayla had taken it. So Urza went back to look for Kayla and Mishra. Urza found her before she could give the stone to Mishra and took it back. Once again, the brothers stood at opposite sides of the room, holding their power stones, and someone Urza cared about stood between them. But this time, as the light grew brighter, Urza lowered his stone. The blast from Mishra's stone slammed Urza against the wall, but did not kill him. Mishra and the rest of the Falaji fled the capital and traveled across Yodia. Tanos was able to capture Ashnod before she could escape with them. Urza left on an ornithopter and went looking for Mishra, but he couldn't find him, and no scouts reported Mishra leaving Yodia. He had to be somewhere in the kingdom. Back in the capital, Tanos held Ashnod as his prisoner. She didn't seem to know anything useful. Tanos also discovered that Queen Kayla was pregnant. For 4 months, they waited for news of Mishra. Then Mishra attacked. He had been in Yodia the whole time, and with the Yodian army out looking for him, there was little to defend the capital. Mishra's many dragon engines began to destroy the capital. Ashnod agreed to help Tanos and Kayla escape the city. They were confronted by the leader of the Falaji. He saw this as the perfect opportunity to kill Ashnod, who he hated, but Ashnod killed him first. Ashnod put Tanos and Kayla on a boat before leaving to find Mishra. Urza eventually returned to the capital of Yodia, but by that time it was long gone. Yodia had fallen to the Falaji. It was 3 years before Urza finally met up with his wife, son, and apprentice again. They found each other in Argiv. The king of Argiv had become weak over the years, and the nobles were more than happy to entrust the legendary Urza with defending their kingdom. Mishra took over as leader of the Falaji and continued to expand his empire. Each brother knew they would fight again, and spent the years turning every possible resource into machines that would fight on their side. During these years, something else was going on. The demon creature from Phyrexia had followed Mishra and Ashnod. It was called Gix, and it was angry at them for trespassing and stealing the dragon engines, so it began to convert followers. Soon there were many monks of Gix, and they went out to serve Urza and Mishra, secretly reporting everything they learned. There was also Lauren. She had been a student of Tokasia, and she knew Mishra and Urza when they were young. Lauren was also from Argiv, but she traveled to the city of Terisia. The people there were concerned about the growing conflict. One of them was named Feldon, and he did not want to side with Urza or Mishra. He was hoping for a third path. Lauren agreed to stay with the people there and join them in looking for this path. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Urza and his mechanical army began to invade the desert, but Mishra had new inventions waiting for his brother. There was a large battle, and Tanos was captured. Tanos was sure that Mishra would have him killed, but Ashnod helped him escape, so Tanos returned to Urza. Mishra, however, found out about Ashnod's betrayal. The followers of Gix had been watching her, and they told Mishra. Mishra banished Ashnod, and the followers of Gix became his new second-in-command. The followers of Gix had also infiltrated the city of Terisia, as well as Argiv, but only Mishra took them seriously. The Gixians in Mishra's camp were allowed to more publicly practice their belief. They believed that the machines were holy creations, and that to be more holy they must shed their flesh and replace it with metal. Some of them had replaced their hands, and others their eyes. Anyways, as Mishra and Urza consumed more and more resources, the people of Terisia urgently looked for a solution. They found something called a silex, which appeared to be a strange bowl. Lauren and Feldon studied it, and it seemed to be a weapon of some kind. They were sure that if they used it, it would destroy everything, so they hid it away. But then the city came under attack. Mishra and his dragon engines were there, so Lauren took the silex and fled the city. And as she did, she was ambushed by Ashnod. Ashnod took the silex and left. Years passed by, and soon there was nothing left that Urza and Mishra had not consumed. The forests had been felled, the mines were empty, and yet the war continued. Urza and Mishra were old men now. They had been fighting each other for over 30 years. It was then that Urza's son found the island. It was a large island, full of resources. Enough resources to win the war. Urza and Mishra both set sail with all of their forces. It became obvious that the war would end here, one way or another. Gix watched through all the eyes of his followers. Each brother had arrived on opposite shores of the island. They began at once to harvest everything the island had and turn it into more war machines. Then the final battle began. Countless machines attacked each other, but then the Gixians summoned their master. Gix arrived on the island. At once he sowed chaos among the machines. Urza's machines destroyed each other, and Mishra's did the same. Ashnod was on the island herself. She found Tanos and gave him the silex. In the distance, they saw Urza and Mishra. Mishra, unable to command his own machines, decided to attack Urza himself. The brothers fought, and this time when Urza raised his stone, he did not lower it. He let loose all of the anger and pain and everything he cared about and focused all these feelings into the stone. And as he did, Urza's spark ignited, and he became a planeswalker. He was not immediately whisked away to some other plane, but his new power did create a powerful blast that smashed into his brother, tearing him apart. And yet Mishra stood up. His body was broken, but underneath his skin was machine. He had replaced his flesh with metal, just like the Gixians. Urza realized that Gix had killed his brother long ago, and this was simply a construct. Urza watched as Mishra retreated and found a new dragon engine. Then Mishra merged with the engine. He turned to attack Urza, but Tawnos was there, and he gave Urza the Silix. Urza activated it, and a shockwave exploded across the entire region. It was felt back in Argiv and in Corliss. Mishra was destroyed at once. Gix saw his fate and had himself summoned back to Koilos. Before the shockwave hit, he returned to Phyrexia. Tawnos and Urza survived the blast, but Urza did not stay. He bid goodbye to his apprentice and left Dominaria. And that's how the Brothers' War ends. And speaking of the brothers, do you stay up all night designing ornithopters? Do you find yourself constantly tired as you strive to collect and process every known resource in the surrounding region? Then you need Bedrock Coffee. Bedrock Coffee is great. It's the perfect mix of high quality and low price. That means Urza will appreciate how efficient you are being by saving money, and Mishra will appreciate the fine taste. You can order Bedrock Coffee from their website, link in the description. You better buy that coffee or Gix is going to show up and turn you into a robot. Anyways, I've been Uncle Jeff. Thanks for watching.